all, and welcome back with another amazing episode of the Future Jobs podcast show. I'm your host, Fahad JobsWala, and I'm student and interview captain at Rehan School Online Academy. I welcome to all of you with another amazing episode of the Future Jobs podcast show, where we always invite amazing, extraordinary individuals from all over the world, and we try to uncover their super inspiring life journeys that shape our industries that motivate other people as well, and it creates a huge impact in the world. The people are somewhere participating to make this world a better place. Like they're part of this amazing project, and our small steps really create some amazing success, but we don't realize about it. So today we have Lan McClantosh is a seasoned leadership coach, speaker, and consultant based in the Greater Seattle area. With over 3 decades of public service, his journey began in the U.S. Army Signal Corps. Post military, he served the state of Washington as an IT specialist, ascending through the ranks of provide technical leadership. Lan is a John Maxwell certified coach, teacher, and speaker, offering workshops, seminars, and coaching to foster personal and professional growth. He is passionate about pupil-centric leadership, emphasizing the unique skills and talents each individual brings. Currently, he manages an IT security team specializing in identity and access management and actively contributions to community development, particularly within nonprofit and faith-based organizations. So, hey, Lane, how are you? Welcome to the
Hey,
show.
I'm doing wonderful, Fahad. How are you today?
I'm doing fantastic. Thanks for asking.
Yes, it's wonderful to be here. Excited to see about our conversation today as we get into future jobs and just kind of seeing how we can add value to people.
Exactly, Lane. I'm also very excited and very delighted to speak with you today. And it's an honor for me to conduct this podcast. So, Lane, could you tell us about yourself, about your story? What is your story?
Yeah, my story is again, I come from a small city in California, right outside of the San Francisco, what we call the San Francisco Bay Area. A lot of people are more familiar with that area. And so I grew up with a military family household, very diverse community. Pakistanis to Filipinos to Mexicans, a little bit of everybody where I grew up at, all kind of wonderful food, all kind of wonderful culture. It was very immersive melting pot of people and decided, went to school, decided to serve our country in the military, went around the world over to Thailand and Korea and went a little bit of everywhere and I wound up here in Washington State, a beautiful city right outside of Seattle, Washington, and I work in public service for the government of Washington State, as well as I help people out as far as a John Maxwell coach through my organization called Bridging the Gap, which is a nonprofit organization. Then I also lead a small company called Leading with Lynn. And so Bridging the Gap is about transforming the world one life at a time. And we know that often there's a distance or a gap between where people are at and where they want to be. And so we want to equip people to get to where they're trying to be and live their best life.
Wonderful, wonderful, Lane. And I did not knew that your organization, Bridging the Gap, is non-profit, and which is really wonderful. You know, like you're already running and own something which is really important for this world. You know,
Yeah,
if
yeah,
you ask for like paid courses for this or paid sessions. So it really like works as well. But you are running this organization non-profit, you know
Yes.
for
Yeah.
people. It's really wonderful.
Yeah.
Like you told
Yeah.
me, you grew up with the mixed environment where you had Philippines, where you had Pakistanis. So can I ask, how's your experience with Pakistanis? What did you observe there?
Oh, wonderful people, Pakistanis here in Seattle, here down in California, wonderful people, good people. Didn't get very immersed in that culture, but again, we wonderful people. We've had very good interactions so far. And I just think that that we all bleed the same red blood, right? But we just have different colors to us and different backgrounds where we come from. But there's more in common with us than there is different with us.
Exactly. Only matters that we are humans, and yeah, that's what it is. We have different
Yes,
backgrounds, we have different cultures, even different languages.
yes,
But I believe when everybody start using one language, maybe will create like there will be no difference between us. If we using only one language, so there is only
yeah,
little bit difference in backgrounds and cultures and all that.
yeah. One of my favorite books that I'm reading right now is called by John C. Maxwell. It's called High Road Leadership. And the premise is bringing people together in a world that divides. And how many know that we need to be brought together because the world is trying so hard to divide us and point out the differences. And the high road leader is the one that brings us together and finds the commonality and sticks on the high road. And so that's what we're really trying to do. That's the message that we're trying to send. That's what we're trying to live out. Whether no matter what country you're from, no matter what ethnicity you are, whatever your background is, your socioeconomic status, we're trying to bring people together and bridge the gap.
Wonderful. That's a wonderful message. So, reflecting on your journey from the U.S. Army to leadership coaching, what pivotal moment reshaped your understanding of effective leadership?
So effective leadership, I think, starts with one of the biggest things that my leadership coach has always said is that people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And so I think that is so important that you're not just, because life often and leadership often starts is that you get a leadership role or a leadership title, but you don't know what it really is like to be a leader, right? And that's how I was with mine. Like, I got a leadership title that you are now a leader. And so did I know what I was doing? Absolutely not. And so I had to struggle and understand. But at the core of what I had to really communicate is that, hey, I'm a person of value that wants to add value to you. And so that was the most important thing, that if I could never send another word or language, that I believe in you, I value you, and I want to add value to you. And so every single day I sought to look for ways to add value, think of ways to add value, and continuously add value to everyone who has served under me. And so that first team that I was leading, probably it's been about 12 years ago. I mean, I made lots of leadership mistakes, right? And often I didn't exercise. I was not the best leader in the beginning. And so then as I grew and learned and understood, what really mattered is that people understood that I really cared about them. It wasn't about the mission or the task, it was about the people.
Wonderful. It's a great message. We just have to see how can we add values into the people's life.
Yes.
We don't have to see like to give particular advantages because that's the advanced things. But first thing first, we have to greet with a great smile, and we try to add some great values in others' life.
Yes, so important. So important, Fahad. And so yeah, that was my leadership journey, and now it's really kind of transformed to where I'm now at a place where I'm able to now create leaders and impart to leaders, and so being able to duplicate myself, right, mentor and create leaders that express my values. And one of the big things is really being able to communicate what leadership values look like, right, and help people to understand that values are very important, that there has to be leadership authenticity, there has to be some leadership ethics and some non-negotiables that leaders have. And so I think that often leader and the fact is that people deserve to be led well, and I think those are all important things, that there's some non-negotiables as leaders that we must display, that there's some bottom lines, there's some areas that we're just not, that are not up for compromise.
Exactly. I saw many people like who get the upper post, whether it is a manager post, whether it is a co-owner or whatever it is. They really um, get very short temper or whatever it is. They start teasing others just because they have a great or upper level post.
Yeah.
They don't see how can they help other, how can they add value. They just um, feels like they are the president of the whole country.
Yep. And the important thing that I try to practice, Fahad, is one story my leadership mentor told was that he ran into a guy within from his organization. He owned a company, and he said, "Hey, Mr. Maxwell, hey, good to meet you. I work for you." And he said, "Wait a minute, son. Let's sit down." He said, "No, actually, I work for you, right? Even though I'm the owner of the company, I actually work for you." And he said, "Here's my cell phone number. If you never ever need anything, you need to, give me a call and things of that nature." And so I think, one big concept that I really try to practice, Fahad, is called servant leadership. That even though I'm a leader, it doesn't mean that I don't serve the people. Doesn't mean that people go get my coffee and people carry me around and do everything for me. But I'm actually supposed to be serving them, not the other way around. And I think often we get that confused, that once you get a leadership role, that everybody is supposed to kowtow and do what you ask them to do, and it doesn't work that way.
Exactly, wonderful. It's really wonderful concept.
Yeah.
you know you're a leader, but you still think that you are servant, you are supposed to serve
Yes, you
others.
are.
It really is a great you know concept. So how do you define people-centric leadership, and why is it crucial in today's organizational
So
landscape?
people centric leadership is, again, every decision that I make, everything, I'm always considering the impact of the people. Every change I make, everything that I do, the people are always at the forefront, Fahad. One of the concepts that I really buy into, it's called change management. Okay. And so people need to be bought in. You don't just push change down to people and just force people to do the change. People need to have a voice and they need to get buy-in. They need to understand some very important principles. When changes shouldn't just happen to people, but people should have an understanding of the why behind the change, right? So an understanding, a knowledge behind what's happening and the why, and then be able to have a voice into how we want to implement that change as opposed to just being forced to do something. The days of the top down leadership model to where decisions are made at the top of the pyramid and things just happen and you just got to go with it, like those days are over and they're morale killers. Leadership decisions and things need to happen from the bottom up, and people that are close, what we call closest to the work, need to have the ability to weigh in on how that work happens. And so again, as leaders, as a people-centered leader, we're always considering the people.
Exactly, exactly. Totally agreed with you. So, what strategies do you employ to help individuals uncover their unique skills and talents?
So often often life can be tough. Do you agree with that, Fahad? And so often
Exactly, exactly.
and so often dreams can get buried. And story I heard, Fahad, is the most valuable place in the city is the cemetery, because what happens is dreams that were never actualized, books that were never written, songs that were never sung, people often die with their dreams. And so my first place is really to help wake them up to, like, hey, if you did not have any limitations, what did you want to be? Like when you're born, like, often you hear like, I want to be a fireman, or I want to be this, or I want to be that, I want to be an airline pilot. And so I need to get them back to dreaming again, right? And I was just working with someone recently. It's like, hey, life has been tough for them. They lost their job. It's been hard trying to find a job. It's been 6 to 9 months. And so I'm like, the first thing I need you to do is to begin to create a vision board, because I want to know, like, if there was no limits, if there was nothing, limits with your money, your bank account, I want you to show me what your life would look like. And then once we get that vision board set up, then we're going to sit down and have a conversation and get real practical about what that looks like, get some timelines, get some very practical steps, and set what we call some SMART goals, some very measurable goals that we can help them get to their destiny.
Wonderful, wonderful. You asked me about like, do we get of tough life often? I believe that there that is not called the life when you don't have tough time, when you don't have hard time.
Yes.
Like if I see someone who is not having hard
Yes.
time, I will definitely ask him that you are not living your life.
Yes.
Actually, you are not in your life,
Yeah,
and actually your life is not begin.
that's right.
The life begins when you are facing challenges, when you are facing hard time. Then now your life has
So
started.
good. So good. That's so wise. That's so true. I mean, I read to where it says that in this world, you're going to have trouble. I mean, trouble is just a fact of life. And people spend so much time trying to avoid trouble and trying to avoid hardships and trying to avoid things. And I'm saying that we can't live an avoidance life. We have to live a life that is moving us forward, and that is a strategy that is keeping us pushing ahead, not trying to avoid things.
Exactly. They spend a lot of time, a lot of money, even
Yeah,
in on not having challenges, but their money is just wasted because this is not gonna happen. That they are not gonna face challenges in
they
their
spend
life because this
They
is life.
spend money on trying not to age, Fahad. They spend money on all kind of stuff. It's like cosmetic
Yeah,
surgery, trying to avoid the inevitable. And the beauty, the reality is the sun is going to go up, the sun is going to go down. Like gravity is the reality. I mean, it's just there's certain realities that in this world you're going to have to face, and trouble is one of those realities, right? Problems, hardships, difficulties,
Exactly.
challenges, and those defining moments that really define who we are. It's how we manage trouble and how we navigate the troublesome situations, right? I think there's a saying that says that a skilled sailor never learns how to be a skilled sailor on calm seas. You always learn how to be a good sailor on the stormy seas, on the rough waves. And so it's important that you learn how to navigate the tough times.
Exactly, exactly. We just have to learn how we can survive in these tough times rather than learning how we can overcome these challenges. We just have to learn from the challenges we are facing. We just have to learn how we can survive rather than looking for someone to help us in our challenging time. We often ask for help, that is there somebody who can help me to get out of this situation, is there somebody who can, you know, like we search for coaching sessions and all that, but this is not going to
Yeah.
work. The only thing which we have to do is we have to survive
Yeah.
from these challenges.
Survive and thrive, Fahad. I don't want to be in a survival only mode because I'm surviving, just kind of holding on to the life preserver. I want to live the abundant life that I was designed to live. That I was not designed just to live in a survival avoidance role. Like I said earlier, I'm supposed to live an abundant life. I'm supposed to live a life that thrives. That, man, I'm supposed to have, hold of something that's powerful, that is much bigger than me.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. So how has your involvement with faith-based organizations influenced your leadership
Well,
philosophy?
it's so important that, I always have wanted to do something for somebody that can't necessarily do anything back for me. So much of life is transactional. That if you give to me, I'm going to give back to you. But faith-based organizations often don't have the budgets, don't have a lot of the resources to be able to even compensate me for whatever. But there's a much larger compensation that's not going to happen in this world. It happens in the world after this one, and so that's been my reward. And I consider myself a lifter, and so my reward is seeing people win. My reward is seeing people win. It's not about the paycheck all the time.
Wonderful, Lane. What we believe in, because of this is the shared reality of this world, that if someone is doing something for us for no cost, then he definitely gonna do something where we have to pay him, or where he requires something for us and something like that. But you said you work for those people where you don't believe that they're gonna back to you and they're gonna do
Right.
something in the
Yeah.
return. So this is really
Yeah,
wonderful.
a certain part of definitely a certain part of my business and things of that nature are just, supporting that, right? I still have to keep the lights on and there's still expenses and bills to pay, but I definitely spend quite a bit of time supporting and seeing people on a sliding scale and or providing support to, again, those people that can't give back or can't fully afford me, and I want to be available and a resource. I don't want any barriers or any limitations, uh, as far as people being able to have access to me.
Exactly, exactly, Len.
Yeah,
So can you share a story where mentorship significantly transformed someone's professional trajectory?
yeah, yeah. There's a couple stories, but there's a guy that I met a couple years ago that was really in a tough place. He was headed towards divorce. He was just really at a tough place, ready to give up on a lot of things. He was doing a lot of nonprofit work. He's just really at a tough place and had lost confidence in himself. And so, he came into my life, and we started doing some work together and just really got him at a place where he came to an understanding of his gifts, an understanding of what could be instead of what has always been. And we began focusing on the future. And we didn't spend a whole lot of time, even though I knew his current situation was not the best. That was not where we put our energy at. Our energy was focused on building the future and not spending time dwelling on his current circumstances. Again, we weren't like just discounting that he had some very challenging things going on, but that's not where we spent our time at. And that guy today is one of the greatest comeback victory stories. Is his life perfect today? No. But is he much further ahead than he was 3 years ago? And does he have hope now? Does he have a future now? Absolutely. Is he talking different now? Absolutely.
Wonderful, wonderful. Um, you know, to say that no one can have a perfect life because this is the uh, this is the basically concept of this world. The creator designed in a certain way that we are not gonna become perfect as person. We're not gonna have something perfect. We don't uh, are supposed to live our life perfectly. No one can be perfect. No one can get perfect, but better than
Better,
before.
better. Every day, Fahad, that we're working to take a step better. And every day is going to be better than yesterday. Every moment. Yeah, we're looking. We're forgetting what's behind. We're pressing on. We're pressing on towards what's ahead. And we're believing. You see, what happens is, especially here in the United States, so many people do the unthinkable and either get on drugs or commit suicide or do all types of different things because guess what? They've lost hope. They don't believe that there's a future. They don't believe that there's a better tomorrow. And so they'd rather just give up and throw in the towel. And I'm saying, listen, don't give up. Don't throw in the towel. As long as you have breath in your lungs, as long as you have blood in your veins, there's always hope. There's always a better tomorrow.
Exactly, Len. Exactly. So thank you so much, Len, for giving me a precious and valuable time for the amazing conversation. I really liked it as person, and the people who will watch this and people who are watching this live, they are really also enjoying this conversation because it was full of hopes, it was full of belief, and some amazing points you just covered up.
Awesome. Well, hey, thank you. Hey, everybody, just keep on believing, keep pressing on. There's always, hey, listen, it is always darkest right before dawn. And don't stop believing. Don't stop believing. So thank you again, everybody. Thank you, Fahad. And hey, we're looking forward to collaborating in the future, my friend.
Exactly. So thank you so much, viewers, for watching and listening to this podcast. Inshallah, meet you soon with an amazing podcast. Till then, stay peace and take care of yourself.